Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 117 of our FC Old Man series. I hope you're enjoying the series so far because I'm loving it. If you haven't gone and watched yesterday's episode from Monday, where we kind of go through what the plan is for this week, we are bringing you guys the final 10 games of the season as we continue our push in our second season in the Premier League to try and secure like Europa League football, I think at best, maybe even Euro Cup 2. I'm not quite sure what the actual is, but we want to try and finish in the top 7. We are currently sitting in 10th spot. We've got two massive fixtures today that can potentially see us leapfrog a couple of our main opposition. We're going to jump straight in and have a look at how we've gone. So a little bit different because you guys obviously have seen all the games that we've been playing. There isn't anything really to recap outside of yesterday's episode if you haven't gone and seen it. Currently sitting in 10th spot, 30 games played, 12 wins, 10 draws, 8 defeats, plus 3 goal difference and 46 points. Ahead of us, one of the teams that we're going to play today, Brighton, only on goal difference. They've got a plus 6 goal difference, also on 46 points for the season, albeit having lost more games, but picked up an additional win during that period as well. Interestingly, managed by Julian Nagelsmann, one of the most popular, I think, young managers in the game or in the real world of football as well over in Germany. Interestingly, 14 years into the save, it is his first job in England. Brighton bringing him across the world. Brighton, of course, had a fantastic season last year. I think they finished in like the top 6. But the majority of that squad is 12 months older. The likes of Lanez, Harvey Elliott, Nene, like they are getting towards 29, 30, 32 years of age. They do have some good wonder kids that you can see here. They're listing on the bench. They've got a couple that are left out as well. And they have, in previous seasons, absolutely splashed the cash. I remember them paying a shitload for this Tico guy from Fulham when we were playing Fulham in the Championship a couple of seasons ago. £46.5 million. So like they've had quite a bit of money for quite a while. Maybe not hitting the same heights this season, but it is a big match for us. And it is the third game of this like 4-game away trip that we've got just due to scheduling this season. So it would be good to get these episodes out of the way and then have a couple of running games at home, albeit under very big opposition later in the week. As far as the team is concerned, we've still got a couple of different players that are out, injured, suspended, whatever else. Johnny Hayes picked up an injury during the course of the week, which may actually see him miss the rest of the season. Leicester is suspended due to his accumulation of yellow cards throughout the course of the year. Elliot Bloor out for about another week with a lower back stress fracture. He'll finally come back into the lineup, I think. And Sigurdsson also picked up a knock during the week, a calf strain, which may see him out for up to 3 weeks. Otherwise, though, it's pretty much the same lineup that we had into the last games. And I have adjusted back. I think previously in the game against Watford, we went wingers on attack and wing-backs on either support or attack or something like that. We have dropped them back just so everyone's playing in their preferred roles, trying to get everyone settled. The one thing that I might keep an eye on, if we're not retaining the ball as we played out from the back, we might move these guys back to being ball-playing defenders just to keep that shorter passer going a little bit more through the midfield. Otherwise, though, we are in a good shape. I think we're setting ourselves up nicely. If we can get a good little run of performances, a good little run of points to actually pick up a few different positions or 3 different places in the table. Running through the lineup though, Kubas in goal, Warburton and Escobar as the central defensive partnership. Escobar recalled to the Uruguayan national team. Fantastic for our captain. He has also signed a new contract to keep him around for the next few years. Carlos Andre at left wing back, Jose Cedron at right wing back, Clark will anchor midfield in the absence of Leicester alongside Barbosa. Aguirre at the 10 has been our highest average rated player for the season. Rossi will play on the left wing, still struggling to find his feet since we picked him up in January. Peacock over on the right and Phillips leading the line up top, who thankfully is starting to hit the back of the net with regularity. Brighton, only one holdout of the actual players that they're using today. Melvin Bard, 32-year-old French left back from Olympique Lyon at the start of the database. He will play, and they have rotated quite a bit. You can tell a few of the guys that usually start in their lineup aren't playing today. They might be taking us a little bit lightly, which works into our favour. Of course, we do have a relatively low reputation in the division still. A lot of teams do tend to leave out their star players when we come up against them. Passionately, we're going to say we owe Brighton after what happened in our last game. Everyone's responded positively, and I'm going to calmly tell Scott Phillips that I have faith in him, because if he finds the back of the net, I think we're in good position to actually try and get 3 points. Wide free kick here from Batten, goes back stick and it's headed straight in. So why do I jinx things? Why do I say anything into this microphone knowing that Sports Interactive listens in to everything that I say? It's a debut goal for one of their wonder kids, English midfielder Bradley Taylor. And just as I said, we might be in a good position to get 3 points. He nods home at far post. It's pretty pathetic defending, to be honest. 3 defenders stand there ball watching as he powers it beyond the Kubas in goal, who couldn't do anything. It's not great. We might also use an early demand more shout just to try and get a bit of a response out of the side. We have got a highlight here in possession. Barbosa in midfield. Over to Rossi, now out to Carlos Andre. He had a great cross in the last episode to find Scott Phillips. Instead, he cuts it back to Barbosa, who goes to strike near post. Martinez is scrambling before Brighton get it away. Batten comes forward now for them on the left-hand side. Is at the end of the highlight. Peacock tackles and puts him into touch. And that highlight comes to an end. So at least we have had a strike. Deep throw in here for us. Carlos Andre looks for Rossi up the line. Back to Andre again. Now Warburton, long ball forward towards Phillips. He's good out of the air, but he's lost out in that instance. Aguiar's done very well to win the ball back and skip past a couple of challenges in midfield. He's gone the strike from the wide area and maybe could have gone the cut back to the 6-yard box in that instance. Going to use that get creative shout. 10 minutes remaining in the half. If we can try and find an equaliser, it gives us a good platform for the second half of the match. Highlight here, though, starting with Brighton, throwing from left back. Peacock wins it back in a great area on halfway, and his goal side of a couple of defenders drags the centre back across. Deep ball towards Phillip near post. It's clipped the post before they've gotten it out, and then McGee, oh no, they've pulled it back for offside, but even then, decent play from Peacock, carrying the ball forward for us there. 1 minute of additional time at the end of the first half. We're through that now. So at half-time, 1 shot, 1 on target, 54% possession for Brighton in their 1-0 lead. 4 shots, 4 on target, and 46% possession for us. We are going to aggressively say, show me something else in the second half. And let's also make that adjustment. Still attacking, but let's go and push our wide players to play a little bit higher up the pitch. Be a little bit more risk-taking. Might also do the same for Aguiar as well, have him play as an attacking advanced midfielder. And let's get these wing-backs up to attack as well. Try and work those 2v1 advantages out wide. I think that'll help us quite a bit. At the moment, as things currently stand, we aren't going to get anything from this match. Carlos Andre works the ball towards Phillips' front post, and he nearly gets it back in there before it manages to scramble out for the corner. He didn't have much of an angle to work with, but I think he did well with what was available. Aguiar, front post header, from Warburton. Warburton should be doing better from set-piece scenarios. I know he's only 17, and I know he's working his way into first-team football, but he gets so many of those chances. Aguiar's delivery, always fantastic. Barbosa finds Aguiar at the edge of the area, and he goes the drive from the wide angle. Keeper looked to have it covered, but it had a fair bit of momentum behind it. All right, we're through the hour mark now, so we're going to hit pause. We're going to quickly make these subs. Looking at average match ratings, again, Nestor Rossi just not settling in England at all. I'm going to bring on Jimmy Winter as a winger on attack, see how he goes. I'm going to have faith in Peacock that he can turn it around with a good shout. Carlos Andre also not playing particularly well, so we're going to bring on Anonye just because of that yellow card. It's what I'm most conscious of at the moment. And we're going to hold on to that last sub for, I think, the last 10 minutes. We'll passionately tell them we've got faith, and we're also going to use Old Faithful to get creative shout after an hour. A few players have responded as inspired, but the first highlight here goes Brighton's way. It's a backstick ball again towards Taylor. Squared up, and now Peacock's got the counter here. We've got 4 men bursting forward against their defensive line. What can we find the right ball here? Get in the box, boys. Instead, he goes to strike from the wide area. This game sometimes just drives me mental. All he had to do was find the cut back to the penalty spot or hang it back stick, and we had men wide open. Instead, for whatever reason, these shots from wide areas, they absolutely kill me. I remember back when Football Manager came out and they released a patch about 1v1s. Biggins with the corner here, backstick runner, and they've found a second goal. It's going to be pulled back for offside, I think. But Jesus Christ, it's gone to VAR and thankfully it's dragged back. I remember a patch was released about 1v1s, which was everyone's complaint. My complaint for Football Manager 2020 is the shooting from wide areas. It is such bullshit. All right, 10 minutes remain in the half. Let's go and make this final sub. Peacock still not playing particularly well. Maybe we can get Carragher out there and let's switch him and Winter, because I think they're both a bit more comfortable on the opposite sides. It's not great when your 2 wingers as creative hubs aren't playing particularly well. We're also going to hit play and we're going to use our demand more shout here. If we're really going to try and find something here, it's got to come in the next couple of minutes. McGee throwing from the right-hand side into Tico. McGee again, closed down by Carragher, who's done well off the bench. Square ball across to Winter at the top of the box. Can he find the finish? It's closed down, and then Aguiar with only his second goal of the season for a number 10 playing in the final third the way that he does. I know he's designed to get assists, but really, we could use a couple extra goals from him throughout the course of the year, but that one is absolutely massive. Carragher does very well, puts it across to Winter. I'm not sure why he took such a long time to strike that shot. It was a good close-down defence by Brighton, to be fair. And then Aguiar, first time asking, just slams that one into the bottom corner for the equalising goal. Is there any late drama in this one? Wide free kick here for Batten. Goes back post again, and he's coming out. Taylor again getting his head to the ball. 4 minutes to be added on here. Are there any late highlights for either side? We're through the 4 minutes of additional time. I don't think we're going to see anything additional. Sports Interactive, if you are listening in, bring back that final highlight for the final whistle. It just adds to the drama of the actual game itself. You take away the interesting parts, and it kind of kills the buzz about the excitement at the end of a match. All right, we have finished up with Brighton 1-1. 6 shots, 4 on target, 52% possession for the Brighton side. 20 shots, 9 on target, and 48% possession for us. You can't say we didn't create opportunities. Passionately, we're going to say, you've done brilliantly to come back and salvage a draw. Let's try and stay positive with it. It's a shame that we're not going to get 6 points this episode, but at least if we stay positive with it, we can try and get 3 points in the next match. It does say 10th position, just behind Brighton. No real adjustment or movement there. Leeds have pulled away, though. A 3-0 win over Aston Villa means they move further ahead of us in 7th spot. It's now 6 points between us and the last Europa League place, or Euro Cup 2, or whatever it actually ends up being. Aguirre gets the Man of the Match award for his wonderful goal. We're going to give him a bit of praise. He's had an excellent season, and thankfully he responds quite well. Also, we've got 14 days before the game against Everton, which is good. We've got quite a few different players that are about to get called up with their international sides. I think we lose as many as 9, mostly through players representing the under-21 sides for their nation. But it will give us a bit of an opportunity to reset, relax. Hopefully some of these suspensions and injuries will be back and ready to go once we return. But magic of editing, we're to jump forward to the game against Everton now. Alright, just like that, we are a full international break ahead. We have welcomed back quite a few different players as well, from suspension and injury respectively. The reason that we are on this screen is I'm going to make a couple of different tactical adjustments. We're going to bring back ball-playing defenders, just so that we are trying to keep possession a little bit more than I think we have been. I'm also going to make a midfield adjustment with a deep line playmaker set to defend, so that he sits off a little bit deeper as that kind of midfield pivot, and Aguire's going to move to an advanced playmaker on attack. What I've also done is change some of the individual instructions associated with the two wingers, so that they'll stay on support duties, but effectively have more attacking license to take a few more risks and get further forward. I want them to shoot less often so that they don't do ridiculous wide shots that I was bitching about in the last game, but again, I think even with that instruction there, they're still going to shoot into the side netting. That's just the way the game is this year. Otherwise, we're in good shape. Elliot Bloor coming back into fitness. We're probably not going to risk him for this game, but we might also try and put him on the bench and maybe on that left wing again to close out the year. It just, as much as I like his stats and attributes, it just does not seem to be working out for Nestor Rossi at the moment. 6.43 is an average rating across 7 games. Even for a player settling into a new area in a new country, it's not really what we need, given that we did pay £25 million for him as well. Looking now at the Everton lineup, it's a very aggressive 4-2-4 that they're playing. Cassiano up the top here looks to be their leading scorer for the season. Looks like a decent 29-year-old Brazilian international, 21 caps to his name. Good dribbling ability, good heading, good technique. Some decent mental attributes, physically very good, 18 natural fitness, 16 agility and pace, 17 balance. He might be one to keep an eye on. On the right wing, Nekmi Sengizer, a Turkish right winger. He looks solid, not anything super spectacular. And 16 crossing, the biggest technical attribute that he's got. Nothing much mentally. Physically, he looks pretty okay. Agility 18, balance 18, 17 pace, 16 acceleration. I'm imagining in my head a Turkish Walcott. We'll see if that's how it plays out once he gets out on the pitch. Sanchez, always a great name for regen players. He looks to be a fair bit better. Messiah, or a deep line playmaker. He's got 17 passing, 17 technique, 16 first touch and free kick take, and we'll have to keep an eye on set pieces. 16 determination, vision and work rate for his mental attributes, and physically quite solid as well. 17 acceleration and balance, the highest two there. 22-year-old Colombian, he looks to be a fairly decent prospect as well. Everton haven't played as well as they could have this year. I think they're down in 14th at the moment. Assertively, we're going to say Everton have lost 3 of the last 5 games, and I expect us to pile on them miserably. I'm also going to give our defence a bit of a nudge just to give them a bit more incentive to try and keep a clean sheet. I think that's been our big issue at the moment. Wide free kick immediately, Nekmi with the ball in, and Bergon has found the finish. I think that's the 4th or 5th game in a row, it feels like, where we've conceded a goal in the opening 10 minutes or so. It's very frustrating that we can't kind of get it right out of the blocks. It's not like our pre-match talks are absolutely horrific. Maybe it's just the fact that we need more men back post or far post for these set-piece scenarios, particularly that wide free kick. We might actually, even this early in the game, use a demand more shout just to try and give everyone a bit of a kick up the arse after conceding so early. Statistically, though, we are on top. First highlight for us in possession. On the right-hand side, we've given it straight back. Cassiano with the ball now for Everton. Played back in, now out left to Felipe Augusto. Peacock's with him, but he's gotten goal side. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Peacock with a good chase and recovery. And a long ball forward towards Phillips, who does lose out to Felipe. Giovanaz out to Placil again. They seem to be favouring the left-hand side once they pick up possession. Peacock's done very well to recover possession again in a good area. Can he get the right ball into the box here though? He's 1v1 with the centre-back, puts it into a good area. Barbosa was lurking about, and Felipe puts it out for Everton and the corner. Aguiar's delivery's been good. What can he offer here? Goes near post. It's headed away. Rossi will recover and recycle into midfield through Leicester. Now Barbosa, work it out to the right-hand side. We've got a 2v1. They've looked for Peacock on that right now. Can we find a cutback? It's a poor ball, and the highlight comes to an end. Throw in right-hand side. Cedron to start. Finds Aguiar. Deep ball across towards Rossi. He loses out in the header, but Barbosa should recover in midfield. Now left to Rossi again. We've got an overlapping fullback. Release him, and he does now. Carlos Andrade. It's Carlos Andre. I've had him for long enough. I should know better. Rossi with the drive eventually. Just beyond far post. Still looking to open his account for us, Rossi. We've got 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to use Get Creative. See if we can't inspire everyone to try and find an equaliser before half-time. Barbosa, now to Leicester. We can work it out to the right-hand side. We might have some space for Peacock. Instead, we're going back to Carlos Andre and into Leicester, who does a very nice little turn in midfield. Rossi now, left-hand side, gets to the byline, cuts it back to Andre, top of their box, and he goes for the strike, but it only clips side netting on its way out for the goal kick. Encouraging signs, but we need a goal. 1 minute of additional time at the end of the first half. We're through that now. So at halftime, Everton are 1-0 up. They've had 4 shots, 4 on target, and 44% possession. All of the 4s. We've had 8 shots, 2 on target, and 56% of the ball. I'm going to say aggressively. Show me something else in the second half. Because we did have that nice little spell with a couple of highlights in there, but unless we hit the back of the net, it's all going to be for naught. All right, we're through the hour mark now, so we're going to hit pause. We're going to have a look at these subs and what we can do. Nestor Rossi just, I think, incapable. I think this is too high a standard for him, if I'm being completely honest. We'll give Carragher some time as an attacking winger on that side. Aguiar hasn't had a great game either. We'll bring on Mariano Oru, and we'll hold off on that last sub, but both Peacock and Barbosa struggling. Really, it's our supply lines that are kind of killing us at the moment. I think if we give a half chance out of the air for Scott Phillips to go after, he's going to find the finish. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout after an hour. Old Faithful, it tends to work. A lot of those players are responded as inspired, which is great. Deep free kick here for Everton. Goes towards back stick. Barbosa gets it away. It's only cleared as far as Felipe Augusto on this left-hand side. Peacock has taken the ball off him a couple of times, and now Phillips has as well. We've got men bursting forward to support in midfield. What can Phillips do? Instead, he goes to strike at the keeper. Didn't really put it in good position. Moxon equal to it. Saves and holds. All right, wide area now. Oru's picked up possession. Sub off the bench. Header there for Phillips is knocked down to Leicester. Now out to Carragher. He goes for the first time strike, and it's going to put it out for the corner. Actually, no, apologies. Not a corner. It's a throw-in. Carlos Andre wanders over now to take. Let this highlight play out, and then we're going to look at that additional sub. Oru, ball across towards Peacock, who knocks it down for Phillips. It's closed down well by the Everton defence, though. And now they're on the break. Huberts comes forward. Leicester's dragged him back in midfield. Are we about to go down to 10 men? It's been a while, it feels like, since we've had a yellow card. And here it is. We're down to 10 men. Leicester, who just came back from a suspension, is going to miss the next game as well. I think it means we'll put Oru a little bit deeper. Maybe we bring on Cambridge in midfield. How do we want to work this? Okay, Oru can do very little in a central midfield area. Screw it. Let's leave him further forward as an advanced playmaker. Let's take off Barbosa, who wasn't playing particularly well anyway. And we'll bring on Cambridge as, what's his preferred role? Box to box on support. Why not? Let's just go after it. At 1-0 down, we've got very little left to lose. And now down to 10 men as well. Let's use a demand more shout. A short free kick routine here from Everton. Felipe in possession. Back to Giovanez. The press isn't terrible. Don't both commit to going to the ball. We've got 2 players trying to close down a goalkeeper, and he just pops it over our head. We're already down to 10 men, boys. Back to Biasol. Now, Felipe Augusto. It might be Biasoli. Header into the box. Coops comes out and claims. Is that the end of the highlight, or can we get this forward quickly? It's a poor clearance. Felipe Augusto puts it back in for Everton. Hushberts. Reverse pass to Plassel, and I think that second goal for Everton is going to be the sealer. This has not been a good performance from us. Escobar apparently made a mistake in the build-up. We'll check it out in 3 dimensions and see if we agree with that commentary. That poor clearance from Kubas killed us. We had 2 men out there, but Hubert puts the reverse pass in. Not sure what Escobar potentially did wrong. It looked like Hubert just played a nice little reverse pass to Plassel, but maybe Escobar missed an interception in there, and that's why that's coming up. Ball from the goal kick now. Escobar comes forward. Long one forward towards Peacock. It's in the air, which isn't really Peacock's forte. Felipe Augusto now. Biasoli. Across to Sanchez. Everton just dragging us side to side at the moment. As 10 men, they are doing very well. Wonderful save there from Kubas. Biasoli with the drive from the edge of the area. He'll take the resulting corner now. Left peg goes near post. Warburton heads it away. Huberts. Close down well by Oro. Forward ball to Phillips. Is that the end of the highlight? Or are we going to see an attack here for us? It is the end of the highlight as it turns out. Ball in now. Arias with the drive from the edge of the area. Never looked like challenging the goal. 4 minutes of additional time. Not a lot we can do here, but we do have a wide free kick. Peacock goes back post and Escobar's knotted one home. We have pulled one goal back very late on. There's about 3 minutes of additional time remaining. I would be very surprised if we managed to pull anything back in this one, but a wonderful ball from Peacock, and Escobar, an excellent far post header, just nods it beyond the keeper for his third goal of the season. Last 30 seconds now. We're through injury time that was allotted, and the referee's called full time. Very disappointing 2-1 defeat. In the end, Everton had 17 shots, 12 on target, 47% possession. We had 18 shots, 8 on target, and 53% of the ball. I'm going to calmly say far from pleased with what I saw from this team. And I'm conscious that perhaps I'm making too many tactical adjustments. I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep it simple going into the next game, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's close out the rest of this one. Barbosa heading to Stuttgart. They were there watching him in the stands. Peacock got the Man of the Match award for a 7.4 match rating in a losing side. And Leicester's ban is going to be a bit painful for us as well. Lee Clark, I guess, comes straight back in for the 2 massive games we've got against the Manchester teams next time out. I think what we will do, and we'll probably talk about this further before the next matches, we're going to switch to positive for the next games. And I think we're just going to go to what we want our team to be, which is effectively the shape and structure with the advanced pressing forward and an advanced playmaker on attack. And we might do the same thing for this attacking structure as well in case we need to use it. Something at the moment isn't going quite right for us, and I don't really want to get too much further in the week without a win. Otherwise, we can pretty much say goodbye to European football already very early in the week, and we really have to start trying to pick up points to stay in the top 10. It will be Man United and Man City both at the DW Stadium in Wigan next time out. Thankfully, we are into the last kind of few weeks at the DW Stadium before we return to our brand new ground on the Isle of Man. You guys will have to tune in and check out how we go against the 2 Manchester Giants. Not the ideal results, not what I wanted, certainly out of this episode, but that's okay. We pick ourselves back up. We go again tomorrow. If you want to be kept up to date on those future videos that are released for the rest of this week, you can subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy my pain, my suffering, you can drop a like on this video as well. That helps us get higher in that YouTube algorithm. When people search for Football Manager content, our content will come up a little bit higher in their search results, or if they look for FC Isle of Man as well. But more than anything, guys, I just appreciate you watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.